What is going on, YouTube? So coming back today with my Charlotte Hornets basketball preview for 2016-2017. So talking about a team that I think is, I wouldn't say controversial, that's a wrong word to use, but a team that I actually think is very up in the air in 2000, or is very, there's a lot of uncertainty. I think that's the word I was looking for. A lot of uncertainty heading into the 2016-17 season. And, I mean, I think they lose two of their bigger kind of anchors that they had in that lineup last year between Al Jefferson and Jeremy Lin. Jeremy Lin, one of the guys that competed for Sixth Man of the Year last year. They also lose Courtney Lee was gone a while ago, though. But anyway, no, that was just some depth that they we're not able to hang on to. So let's jump right into the first X factor, and that's consistency. This is a team that was very up and down last season. At times they just seemed unstoppable, red hot, could not be stopped, especially shooting. With a guy like Nic Batum that was almost an all-star last year, Kemba Walker when he was hitting them from deep, and when Marvin Williams and Frank Kaminsky were on last year, then it was a very, very hard team to stop offensively. On the flip side, when this team broke down, it did not look pretty. This was a team that at times seemed like they could not do much right. I believe Kemba Walker had a little bit of injury troubles last year, but for the most part he was healthy all season. Overall, I think the guy with the biggest injury troubles was Kidd-Gilchrist. I mentioned him shooting. He only got to play in 7 games last year. So hopefully he can stay healthy this coming season. Really hasn't been able to stay healthy for at least for the full part of the last 3 seasons. So either way, let's get into the second X factor, which is utilizing the stretch 4. And I think that's something that's not talked about a whole lot with the Charlotte Hornets, especially this year. Losing Al Jefferson, you lose your main post presence. You bring in Roy Hibbert, who, at times in the past he was able to be a good post presence for the Pacers. Even for the Lakers, it's sometimes he was okay. But he's the backup center. He's not even the starting center. Cody Zeller is the starter, guy that doesn't have an overwhelming arsenal of post moves. And I think that's where you got to utilize, like I said, Marvin Williams and Frank Kaminsky. Frank Kaminsky, very tall to be considered a stretch 4, but also a guy that can shoot from mid-range. So, like I said, it's something that you really hope that they're able to take advantage of, and a stretch 4 is something that's really become a very present part of the game, or of the game today. So my first key player is Kemba Walker, and a guy that really, I think, finally hit that peak that we were expecting him to hit all throughout his career last season. You knew that he had the ability to be a star in this league. There was no doubt about that. Finally hit that point. He was right around 17 points per game last 3 seasons, and then last 3 or 4, and then finally hit a mark around 21 points per game last season, around 5 assists, and shot, I believe, his career best also, around 43%, and shot around 37% from 3, way above his career average of 33. If he can continue those numbers, then he's the catalyst for this Hornets team. I mean, the team runs through him, and I think that's a guy that needs to be big in the 2016-17 season. And another big thing is, he was able to play pretty much a full season last year. I said earlier he had a little bit of injury troubles. I'm thinking of the year before. Next key player, though, Kidd-Gilchrist, and it's just his health. He's a very, very known presence for the Hornets when he's on the court. Like I said, hasn't really been able to play a full season yet in the NBA. I think really since his rookie year. What was that, 3-4 years ago? Back in 2012. And, while he's been healthy, he's been okay. Around 11 points per game the last season. He was able to play even more than 50 games. He's a very good shooter, around a career 47-48% shooter. But that's just around the mid-range spot, not really a 3-point shooter at all. But anyway, a guy that could probably bring you around 12 and 8, I'd say, between points and rebounds if he finally is able to stay healthy and have a full season with the Hornets. Final key player is Cody Zeller. The center spot is his this year for the taking. There's people behind him that I think would be very happy to take it from him. I don't know how much you can expect out of Roy Hibbert this season. Like I said, just not a very good player, I think, at this point in his career. But Zeller, a guy that 23 years old, I think it's now or never for him to finally have that big jump in his career. And averaged around 9 points per game last year, career high, which was good. He started also a career high 60 games and brought 6 rebounds? Yeah, 6 rebounds, not even an entire block. So, again, hopefully that improves. So, record last season, 48-34. Really unexpected the Hornets were that good. They were a very good team last year. There's no doubt about that. Best case scenario for me is 4 seed, lost in the second round. Worst case scenario is bottom 4 in the East. I know that's a kind of a fluctuation between the two. Like I said, there's a lot of uncertainty for this team heading into the season. And my overall record prediction is 38-44. Most basketball fans, I feel like, would agree the Hornets lost quite a bit of talent this season. They really didn't pick up much either. Like they didn't add a whole lot in the way of talent in any one of their starting positions. I mean, they pretty much held on to what they had, which is fine. Like I said, they did well last year, but overall, I feel like this team got worse. And again, I'm not going to say last year was a fluke, but like I said, they were a very streaky team at times. Anyway, that'll pretty much do it for this NBA preview. I will be coming back either later today or tomorrow with my Wizards preview. I don't think that'll round out the East quite yet, but I think I have two more Eastern Conference previews to do, and that should round out the East. But anyway, that's pretty much it. See ya.